We are Channel 2 News. We are WGRZ.
From the News Center for Western New York, this is NewsCenter 2 Weekend.
Good evening, I'm Mike Andre. The city of Toronto was shattered by two mass shootings today.
WGRZ-TV 2, working harder to be Buffalo's best.
From the Center for News in Western New York, this is NewsCenter 2 with Susan Banks and Fred DeBrine.
Good evening. 17 people killed, including 2 hijackers.
This is WGRZ-TV, Buffalo, New York. From NewsCenter 2, here's Susan Banks and Rich Tillman.
Good evening. Cheektowaga residents don't want a throughway entrance on William Street.
This is WGRZ-TV 2, Buffalo. From the Center for News in Western New York, this is NewsCenter 2.
Good evening. I'm Fred DeBrine.
And I'm Susan Banks.
WGRZ-TV 2, working harder to be Buffalo's best.
From the Center for News in Western New York, this is NewsCenter 2 with Beverly Armstrong and Mike Andre.
Good evening.
This is WGRZ-TV, Buffalo, New York. From NewsCenter 2, here's Beverly Armstrong.
Good evening, everyone.
You're watching WGRZ-TV 2, Buffalo, New York. Now, from your 24-hour news station, this is Channel 2 News, Nightside. You're watching WGRZ-TV 2, Buffalo, New York. Now, from your 24-hour news station, this is Channel 2 News, Nightside.
Western New York is hit by a coating of sleet, making travel very hazardous tonight.
Plus, word that another American hostage will be given his freedom within the next 48 hours. Good evening, I'm Lori Lasowski.
And I'm Don Postles. More on the hot.
This is Channel 2 News, WGRZ-TV, Buffalo. Now, Rich Kellman, Carol Kaplan, Kevin O'Connell Weather, and Ed Kilgore Sports bring you Channel 2 News first at 5.
Good evening. Buffalo and Amherst police are continuing their search for a serial rapist tonight.
You're watching WGRZ-TV Channel 2, Buffalo. Live from the Channel 2 newsroom. This is Channel 2 News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Annette Falwell.
You're watching WGRZ-TV, Channel 2 News. Now, Marty Ahrens, Lori Lasowski, Kevin O'Connell Weather, and Ed Kilgore Sports bring you Channel 2 News at 6.
You're watching NBC in Western New York. This is Channel 2 News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Douglas Bell.
And I'm Victoria Hong. The Bills have their first game of the preseason under their belt.
You're watching WGRZ, Channel 2 Buffalo. This is Channel 2 News Daybreak.
Dow rebounds as congressional leaders make a vow to fix the nation's economy.
We need to move forward on doing what's right for our country.
Plus, how an entire local town could be severely impacted by the recent takeover of a major mortgage lender.
And an attempted abduction in Orchard Park is investigated.
It's 4:59. Here's your forecast first.
While the cloudy skies and at times some on again, off again, light rain showers will be with us later on this evening. Temperatures falling through the 50s. More rain on tap for Wednesday with a daytime high of 60. First at 5 begins right now.
Well, just the promise of swift action by Congress was enough to spark a rebound on Wall Street today, a day after its largest point drop ever. The Dow Jones ended the day up more than 485 points. And good evening, everyone. I'm Scott Levin.
And I'm Jody Johnston.
You're watching WGRZ-TV, Channel 2, Buffalo. This is Channel 2 News Tonight with Victoria Hogg, Douglas Bell, Kevin O'Connell Weather, and Ed Kilgore Sports. Channel 2 News Tonight continues.
Welcome back, everyone. An attempted robbery at an
Happening now on Channel 2 News Tonight, paving the way for people who do important, if unnoticed work that affects your life every day. The road to recovery for an officer shot in the line of duty. Tonight, cautious good news. The long haul to Powerball. How close are we to having another big jackpot lottery game in New York? All that and more now on Channel 2 News Tonight.
Good evening. Those stories in a moment, but first, this one's happening right now.
Judge Best Newscast in New York State. Channel 2 News Daybreak starts now.
Good morning, everybody. Winter weather advisories and warnings are in effect for much of western New York as the snow continues to fall.
And a school district is in shock over the sudden death of one of its students allegedly killed by a family member. Today is Monday, February 21st, 2011. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Daybreak. Coming up on 5.
From Western New York's Information Center, Channel 2 News Daybreak Saturday morning starts now.
Good morning. A former Niagara Falls mayor is indicted on felony conspiracy charges. Western New Yorkers are paying the highest prices, gas prices that is, in the nation. And police in Tonawanda issue a warning about a check scam.
Judge Best Newscast in New York State. Channel 2 News, first at 5, starts now.
Finalizing funding. Lawmakers finally turn the page and come to an agreement on how much they're giving libraries.
I need the whole dinner just done for me because it's just easier.
Last-minute shoppers stocking up on more than just stocking stuffers. Plus, blocking the blackout. One local business owner steps up, buying thousands of Bills tickets as a present to Western New York.
From Western New York's Information Center, Channel 2 News at 6 starts now.
To me, it's like it happened yesterday. It may as well have happened yesterday. And we need some closure.
A decade later, a family searching for answers 10 years after a gruesome murder.
One local family mourning the loss of their young son after a tragic drowning early this morning on Grand Island. Also a plan to make city polls safer. One Buffalo lawmaker wants some changes when it comes to how people visit the polls. And tonight, heading to rehab. A congressman asked for a leave of absence in the wake of his big Twitter scandal.
Good evening. We've got some hazy sunshine in downtown Buffalo right now, but a bit of a gray day otherwise across Western New York.
From Western New York's Information Center, Channel 2 News Tonight starts now.
They claimed you didn't have any help, and you got in over your head, and that's how this whole thing happened.
Horses returned. Hear from a woman who had her animals taken away from her by the SPCA, but will soon get some back.
Channel 2 News, not HD. HD on your side. First at 5 starts now.
A much-needed gift. Now, every student in the city of Buffalo will be able to go to college for free. We'll explain how and talk to the man who helped make it possible.
Do you know how many problems and how dysfunctional the educational system here is?
We're counting down the top stories of the day, including how a major hike in the state's minimum wage could affect local workers and businesses.
And a man admits he lied about allegations involving Syracuse's former assistant basketball coach. Plus, we'll tell you about a construction project on a major highway that may send you on a detour this weekend. 10 at 10 starts now.
Hello, and thanks for joining us this Friday night for the 10 at 10 countdown. I'm Melissa Holmes.
Every lawmaker who represents Western New York in federal government is now calling on the...
Tonight, first at 5, terror plot thwarted.
Had this plot been carried out, it would have resulted in innocent people being killed or seriously injured.
What police north of the border are saying about a planned attack on a train. Plus, Boston suspect developments, what the 19-year-old accused of carrying out the twin bombings with his brother will and will not be charged with. And throughway victims, we hear from the relatives of 3 people who died in a crash on the 90s. And there are 2 big stories that we are watching tonight concerning alleged shocking details. Police in Canada say that they have just arrested 2 people who were planning on attacking trains near the border. Plus, charges have been filed in the Boston bombing case. We will share the criminal complaint and show you the morning as a victim was laid to rest. Plus, a grieving family continues their search for answers after last week's triple fatality on the Thruway. And as he celebrates a birthday milestone, we catch up with Russ Salvatore about his career. Channel 2 News at 6 starts now. Tonight we have more on a major developing story. This is coming out of Toronto this afternoon, where authorities say that they have foiled a terror plot there. Good evening, I'm Scott Levin.
And I'm Mary Alice Demler.
Tonight, an apartment protest. Why dozens of Hamburg homeowners are fighting to stop a new complex from going up. Also tonight, a school in mourning after the sudden death of a local teacher on a school trip abroad. Plus, a call for equality. Hear from a group of local Catholics pushing for women to become priests in the church. And distracted driving. How using your phone behind the wheel is soon going to cost you a whole lot more. 2 on your side at 10 starts now. Hey, good evening. I'm Scott Levin. We begin tonight with a housing controversy in Hamburg. Tonight, apartment controversy. Some homeowners in Hamburg say they don't want a complex going up in their backyard. Plus, mourning the loss of a young local teacher who lost her life after a school trip abroad. And a couple of hot topics. The Supreme Court hears arguments in a case about same-sex marriage, while there's a protest here in Buffalo, people pushing for women to become priests in the Catholic Church. Channel 2 News Tonight starts right now. Well, you know, there's lots of things that attract homeowners.
Ahead this morning on Daybreak, new testing sites are opening up here in Western New York. Details on when and how you can get tested for COVID-19. Plus, what will it take to reopen Western New York? Some local officials share their plans and takes on what the new normal might look like. And Governor Cuomo shares when we could find out if school is out for the entire summer.
From the station that's on your side, you're watching Channel 2's Daybreak.
Good Saturday morning, 6 o'clock here on Daybreak. Thanks so much for starting your day and starting your weekend here with us. I am Heather Lee and Kevin O'Neill.
No water for a week. It's a problem some people are facing in the falls, and they want answers. And eyes on the prize. The Bills look to stay focused in unfamiliar territory. Channel 2 News First at 5 starts now.
The snow and winds that made a nightmare of things one night ago are past, but the cold is only going to get worse. Good evening, I'm Mary Alice Demler.
And hello, everyone. I'm Scott Levin. Things are going to get downright frigid in the next couple.
Taking the field. Youth sports have just gotten the green light to open up in a few weeks. We'll look at what's going to be different. Plus, rising outrage. Atlanta has become the latest flashpoint in demands for police reform after officers shot and killed a black man who was running from them. Actions to tear down across the country and the world. Calls are increasing to take down Confederate or colonialist figures.
Channel 2 News Tonight starts now.
2 days out from Western New York entering phase 3, the governor put the state on notice. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Leanne Stuck. If businesses don't follow right now on Daybreak, church mergers. The Buffalo Diocese making big changes as part of its Road to Renewal program. Plus, another spa at the center of sex trafficking investigations. 2 on your side has the latest details. And as police investigation is underway, a homeowner recalls the moment when a pickup truck came crashing into their home.
From the station on your side, this is Channel 2 News Daybreak.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday to you. It is
Daybreak continues nonstop at 6.
Right now on Daybreak, major changes looming as Buffalo's Catholic Diocese plans to close a third of its parishes.
Plus, a family in mourning and police investigating how a 6-year-old girl was hit and killed by a van.
And a new look for the Buffalo Bills as Joe Brady looks to put his stamp on the offense.
Good morning, everyone. It is 6:01 on this Wednesday, May 29th. Thanks for starting your morning with us. I'm Melissa Holmes.
And I'm Pete Gallo.
Ahead on midday, why Buffalo's Tesla plant could be on the chopping block if things get worse for the company. Plus, how National Grid's plan to go green could cost you more on your monthly bill. And former President Donald Trump's fate is set to be in the hands of a New York jury. Today, we'll have the latest from court.
From the station on your side, Channel 2 News Midday starts now.
And good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for Midday. It is Wednesday, May 29th. I'm Kelly Dudzik. Chief Meteorologist Patrick Hammer will have your cool forecast in about 2 minutes. But first, new reporting from our partners at Buffalo Business.
Happening today on Most Buffalo, addressing the mental health crisis. That is what one local university is doing. Most Buffalo's Claudine Ewing will join us with more. Plus, the Buffalo Academy of Science Charter School unveiled its new plans for the former Medaille campus. Most Buffalo's Rob Hackford has the details, including their plans to have students on campus this fall. Plus, living in a former school. This newly completed housing complex in East Buffalo is a lot more than just an apartment building. And we begin with the latest on a tragic accident in the town of Tonawanda that took the life of a 6-year-old girl. Thanks for joining us for Most Buffalo. I'm Lauren Hall, and we now know the name of...
Right now, first at 5.
Took down that shop yesterday. Depew took down another one yesterday, but they'll open up somewhere else.
New details on spa raids in Western New York. It's an investigative report you'll see first on 2.
A congressman responds after the diocese cancels Choral Fest. Find out who's asking the bishop to reconsider.
And students are heading back to the Medaille University campus. Why it may not be who you think.
Plus, a new community commitment from HSBC, how they're revolutionizing the workplace for Western New York workers.
From the station on your side, first at 5 starts now.
And we begin tonight at 5 with an update to the story that you saw first here on Channel 2, the raid of Western New York's spas. Good evening, I'm Scott Levin.
Right now on the 5:30, preserving pieces of history, why Preservation Buffalo Niagara is offering help to the diocese. Plus, women of color are largely absent from executive leadership roles at not-for-profit organizations. Let's talk about it as the Rise Summit approaches. And new affordable housing is coming to East Buffalo. We'll take you inside a former school turned apartment building.
Live on your side. Channel 2 News at 5:30 starts now.
It is Wednesday, May 29th. Welcome to the 5:30. I'm Claudine Ewing. Those stories are coming up in just a few minutes. But first, you saw what recently played out in...
Right now at 6.
It tells us that for a short time that they've been there, they quit the business that they're doing.
New details tonight, first on 2. After police seized cash from 2 local massage spas, they say we're really selling sex.
What we ought to be doing is embracing each other and bringing people in the traditions of our wonderful faith.
A congressman preaching for the choir after the Buffalo Catholic Diocese cancels a music festival.
Plus, educators, community organizations, and health agencies, they all gather to try and bring schools and mental health services together.
And Buffalo celebrates the opening of a new, innovative office space in Larkin Square.
Live, on your side. Channel 2 News at 6 starts now.
Tonight, we continue to follow a story that we brought you first on 2 as investigators continue to collect evidence at not one, but now 2 Western New York spas that were raided by police. Guilty on all counts. The verdict handed down tonight against former President Donald Trump in New York City. Analysis of the case from a local defense attorney and prosecutor, what this means for November's election, and how some of your reaction to the jury's decision.
Move or shut down. Tough action by local lawmakers against a Buffalo funeral home.
And carrying his legacy, we talk one-on-one with the son of a football legend who's doing more than carrying the ball.
From the station on your side, Channel 2 News Tonight starts now.
And our top story tonight at 11. Former President Donald Trump is now the first American president ever to be convicted of a crime. Good evening, I'm Scott Levin.
And I'm Mary Alice Demler. Trump was found guilty on all 30.
This is WGR-TV 2 Buffalo.